Hey folks, it's Chad here with Airstream in Greensboro. And right there behind me, I have the all-new 2024 Bambi 20FB. And I'm excited today because I'm going to do something I've been trying to do, believe it or not, for a whole year. And that is make a video of every Bambi floor plan that Airstream currently makes. And I'm going to complete the series of 4 floor plans today with the 20FB. Now, I also have a really great selection here at Airstream in Greensboro of Airstreams. This is probably the most inventory we've had in the last probably 3 or 4 years. So that's really exciting too. If you're looking, of course, as this video is being posted, we do have some stuff here to take a look at. But let's jump into a walk around of the outside, the inside, the top, the bottom of the 2024 Bambi 20FB now. And I'm going to start with the outside of the Bambi. And a couple of improvements they did for 2024 right out the gate that we can see is, one, we now have a power ton jack for the Bambi lineup. 2023 and going back, it was a manual ton jack there. So we've got the same 3,500 pound capacity ton jack that we're seeing on pretty much all of the other Airstreams that are on the market. We do have the super awesome Demco hitching system. Now what makes this really cool is it will actually latch itself into place with it down. So you don't have to lift this up to latch it onto the 2 3/4 inch ball. Now the Bambi, you are going to have this Camco style plastic molded battery box. There's 2 batteries in there that are going kind of that way instead of this way, as we normally see with other Airstreams. Now we do have kind of tucked in, let's see if I can get right there, tucked in under, almost under the cover for the propane tanks, a solar charge port. Now that's going to need to have the kind of like Zamp has one where it's a suitcase and it opens up, has a charge controller already on it. And then this does have a spare tire, as all of the Airstream travel trailers do, and that connection there is right there. And then you'll see underneath the tire drops down, makes it really easy just to slide that right out. And then you're going to see the LP hose that runs back. And one thing that Airstream does that I really like with the propane hoses, they try to keep these outside the camper as much as possible, all the way up into the point where they have to turn up and go into, you know, the furnace or the water heater or something like that. But that's to keep that gas, if there happens to be a leak, outside the coach as much as possible. Now on the other side of the hitch, we're gonna have that quick disconnect. It's right there. Now I will say with the Bambi, it's a little bit harder to get to just because of the way this battery box is set up, but it's right there. And then there's the other side. You can see your stabilizer right there, and the other side of the tire. Now under this propane cover, you're gonna find 2 20-pound propane tanks. If you're looking for all of the specifications, sizes, weights, and all that kind of stuff, I'll leave a link below that takes you right to a page that gives you all of that. I will tell you on the 20FB, it's going to be the heavier of the Airstream Bambi floor plans, just with the cabinets, the extra cabinets you get in it. Now, I jokingly call this the kitchen floor plan because the kitchen is really the center point of this floor plan. But the layout also is really cool. And I used to say the 19CB was my favorite floor plan, and I'm pretty sure that video I say that, probably the Caravelle video. But I really do like the 20. It's definitely in the running for a top floor plan. Now you get the solar guards standard with the Bambi, but we're not going to get rock guards. And that's one of the changes that they make, Airstream makes, to try to bring down the price of the Bambi. There is a 3M, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's a 3M sticker here to help protect that aluminum. But kind of a secret, you can buy the Caravelle rock guards from our parts department here at Airstream in Greensboro and put those on the Bambi if you really want to have that extra protection. Now the awning is slightly different on the Bambi versus the Caravelle floor plan. This is just going to have 2 travel locks, one there and one right there, instead of the screw down ones that you see on the Flying Cloud and the Caravelle. It's still a zipped awning. It's just, I'm going to say, probably a less expensive zipped awning that they're able to save a little bit on the Bambi. Another thing you're going to have is a steel step instead of the aluminum step. There is a step light right there. And of course there is an awning light as well that goes across. And we'll move on back a little bit. Now, one change you're gonna have with the Bambi, this is gonna have what I would call a more traditional bearing system on it. So this bearing is one that you're gonna pack once a year. You know, re-grease it, replace the grease once a year. Where on the Caravelle and the Flying Clouds and so forth, it's gonna be a never lube or no maintenance bearing, similar to what you get on your car. Now, still the Dexter axle. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. You see that going across? Now, there's no leaf springs. It's a torsion system. It's all built inside of that bar that's going across, or that tube going across. Now, on the Bambi, we're not going to have that shock absorber that kind of sits up here. That's just one of those things that Airstream does to kind of try to bring down the price point with the Bambi. You got the Bambi logo right there. We've got our furnace. There is an outside power jack right there. And then another big thing that's going to be different from the Caravelle and the Bambi, we're going to have, and I'm going to say that a lot, but we're going to have a window that Airstream essentially buys this window and installs it, as opposed to the windows that they make in-house. And I'll show you one right here on this Internationals beside me. So that's a true Airstream window. You can see that extruded aluminum right there for the framing. This is going to be one that they just buy it, install it, and just this bottom half is going to pivot open at that point, where on like the Caravelle, for instance, it's going to pivot all the way there at the top, and that will come out almost 90 degrees. Just right there is going to come up. And then of course we do still have LED lights. You have two lights here, or one light on each side instead of two lights on each side. And there's no bumper on the Bambi. I really like this look. I think it's more classic Airstream to me. I know the bumper is probably a really good thing to have, but I do like the way this looks. You do have the backup camera is standard. All of your lights, as I mentioned, are LED, and we're gonna find our only outside storage for the 20 right here. I think this is the only outside storage. Pretty good size storage. I'd like for those pipes to be covered up, but they are not. This is gonna be your potable water fill. Of course, it's gravity fed. Let's see if I can get that right there. And it's just take that off, stick your potable water hose right in there. There's a breather valve right there for it to come out. As you fill it up, the water will come out right there. Moving around. Now, another change, or another thing that's different on the Bambi versus the Caravelle, there's no option to do window awnings. Again, I think that's something you could add as a dealer option later if you wanted to. But there's no window option at all. You do have solar. You can get that. That's a solar option, and you can see the solar right there. And I'll show that on top here in a little bit. Now, this is going to be your two windows there. They open there at the bottom. And then you've got another window right there that's in the bathroom. It opens right there as well. We're going to have our city water right here. Our black tank flush right there. The awesome smart plug is right here. It's 30 amp. And then we've got our campsite TV input right there. No data port here, as we see on the other 2024 improvements. There's no data port on the Bambi. And then we're gonna have our outside shower right here, and hot and cold water. This will come out, and there's a little hanger right there, but that comes out so you can use that to wash your pets off, your feet off, whatever you might need to do. 751 key is what opens that. And then just under this area here, you're gonna have your black and gray tank. And you do have a true black and gray tank on the 20-foot floor plan. And then just in front of the tire, you're gonna have your sewer hose storage right there. And this does have the Girard tankless hot water heater. It is right there. Now there is both positive and negative reviews with the Girard tankless hot water heater. I hope that Airstream will eventually move to the Suburban hot water heater, what they use on the REI, and they're using on the new Tradewind. That gives you the recirculation valve built into that system. I hope they do that in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. Now let's jump to the inside. That's the outside, pretty much everything there is to know except for the roof. I'll get that there towards the end. We're gonna walk to the inside now. All right, so we're gonna move to the inside, and I didn't mention this earlier, but it's a beautiful fall day here in North Carolina. This is the perfect weather to go shopping for an RV in. It's not hot and it's not too cold. Yeah, I would go, like, if you're thinking about shopping for an RV for an Airstream, this is the time to do it. So let's walk to the inside of the Bambi. Now, I know I talk about the doors all the time, and I just think I love the doors for Airstream. They give you such a picture into the quality and detail that Airstream goes into building these campers. Now, you're gonna have a cast aluminum hinge here. It's really nice and durable. It's huge. The other thing I like to point out is the welds. If you ever come to the dealership and I get to walk around and show you RVs, I will tend to point these out to everybody because the attention and the quality and the consistency is just phenomenal. Now, another improvement for 2024, we're going to see a new door latch here for the screen door. I don't know yet if you're going to be able to get these and retrofit onto older Airstreams. I'm assuming you should be able to get this because it's just 2 rivets right here that hold those on, and then 2 screws right there for that. So I would like to think that we'll eventually be able to get these and can add these to our campers. You've got your famous Airstream lock that will lock you out if you're not careful. Just make sure this is always unlocked when you're opening and closing the door. Deadbolt's right there. And now, this part of the door is the least attractive part of the door, but I've seen a lot of folks on Facebook who have added like decals onto this to make it look really cool. And I think that's something you should definitely consider doing. Now, with this door, it is hand built. It takes them about 8 hours to build that door. You're always going to want to marry these back together before you close that door to help keep these in the same shape. They build that screen door to fit this door. You also want to always make sure you take the keys out before you open the door all the way, because you will dent that sidewall if you don't. Now, the rivets on the outside, this is going to be a butt rivet. It's similar to how the Empire State Building was built, the Golden Gate Bridge was built. Now, the rivet on the inside is a pop rivet. So that's what you're used to seeing, where you squeeze the thing and it pops out and it makes that rivet. This type of rivet here, the only way to get this off is to cut it off or drill it out. Once that's put on, it's gonna stay. And that's one of the things to me that really sticks out about an Airstream is when they put this wall together and they build this unit, they're using a technology that has been around for a very long time that we know that works really, really well. Some of the new manufacturers that are coming around, they don't have that per se. So even your door frame is going to be riveted, and of course all of your connection joints there are going to also have that rivet. Now, as we step into the Bambi, the first thing we're going to see right to the right is going to be this really great area to store your shoes right there. And of course we have the fire extinguisher by code. We also have a great little storage area right here for anything that you might want to put in and, you know, stow here. I'm not sure what you would put there, but I'm sure keys, what keys would hang here. We also have the new, it's not really new, but it's an improved dimmer switch. This is what we currently have on the Caravelle. It's now on the Bambi. And we've got a great spot to make a note, a reminder, whatever we might need to do. And then across from that is going to be your pantry. And remember, I called this the kitchen floor plan because, well, the kitchen. So as you come in, you're going to turn left and you're going to see your smaller refrigerator, your TV, but just this incredible kitchen with an enormous amount of storage. If you like cooking, or you're going to full-time, but you want to have a small camper, whatever it might be, this is going to be a great floor plan and one to consider because of the way this kitchen is. Now let's take a look at the refrigerator. Of course, it is going to be a smaller refrigerator because this is a smaller camper. We do have a freezer right there. There's a little ice tray to make your miniature ice. And there are some shelves right there. Now, directly underneath the fridge, we're going to have our power distribution system. So we've got 110 right here. And then we've got our 12 volt right there, 12 volt fuses. This is also going to have the converter underneath it. That's what's going to convert the AC to DC power when you're plugged in. Now, this is going to be set up for lithium from the factory. It's supposed to be. You still want to check and make sure. Now, this is shown that it has the auto detect between lead acid and lithium, but we like to still try to set that manually And then you got your battery disconnect switch right here. Now this is going to be a little bit different than what you see in other Airstreams. It's going to be a true like physical on-off switch for your batteries. And then just below that's going to be your propane gas alarm system. Now let's check out all of the storage that is in this kitchen area. I mean, this is just a gorgeous kitchen. So right off, we're going to have a lot of drawer storage. We've got, of course, our silverware organizer. Got more storage right there, full extension drawers. Another full extension drawer. And then a little, little storage there. The tire wheel's most likely behind that area. We've got great counter space right here. That's going to lead into your 2-burner stovetop. Underneath that 2-burner stovetop, you're going to have a regular microwave, not the convection, just a regular microwave. Now that's an upgrade you could easily do if you want to just swap this out later. You could do that, but from the factory, it's going to come with a regular microwave. And then underneath the sink here, we've got even more cabinet storage in here. Just so much storage. It goes all the way back into there. We've got our trash can that actually has a little cutout to hold it in place. And above that, we're going to have our 2 sinks. And I hear folks talk about sinks a lot, and there's those who love the single sink that's large, and then there's those who like the 2 sinks, so you can have a wash sink and a rinse sink. Well, if you want the wash sink and the rinse sink, the Bambi is going to be the one that gives you that. And then we have these cutting style boards to cover that and extend your space even more. Now above the stove area, we're going to have 2 of our lockers right there. Now this is the way the Bambi doors are. I like the way this looks. It's a cool look. It is a kind of fiber board, so that's something to consider. Everything else is going to be solid. It's an Airstream, so they don't do anything not solid. Everything, even right here, like this doesn't need to be solid, but it's still solid. That's just Airstream for you. They like to build things that way. Now, 2023 in the kitchen, we had these blinds that were like a little metal blind. I wasn't a huge fan of those. I like that they have went to a kind of, I guess, almost traditional, but this is a style blind that we see in a lot of the other Airstreams, even going back to like 2020. They're in there. And you also have the one over that. And then the 2 blinds that are over these windows also have, or that pull down blind, which I really like, instead of the metal ones they had last year. Now in here we're going to have, or I guess in the kitchen area, we're going to find our charge controller, solar charge controllers, the MPPT, Vectron Energy. Then you've got your C-Level 2 tank monitor system. We'll show your battery fresh, gray, and black. And then we've got some power right there as well. Now coming back around, when you first come in the door, you really are greeted with this dinette. And I love this color. With the Bambi, you're going to have 2 color options. There's going to be this blue color here. And then there's a, cream kind of. I'll put those 2 colors up on the screen for you. And then I do really like these 2 large windows are just letting so much light into the space, especially since with this design, by having a corner bathroom, we are only able to have this 1 window here instead of a panoramic window in the back area. So having these 2 large windows, it just brings so much light into here. And then we do have the panoramic window around the bed. So coming to the dinette area, we got the great dinette. It does fold into a couch, which I'll make, not a couch, a bed, which I'll make into a bed here in a second. We are going to have some storage underneath, right there, and then right here as well. And now the bottom 2 windows open, as I mentioned, outside. That's your emergency window to get out if you need to. And we have 3 lockers above the dinette area. So great storage up here for traveling out. I would consider the Bambi, the single axle, to be a weekend getaway vehicle, but this is definitely a floor plan that you can go for weeks and months at a time. We've got our radio right there, USB right there. We have the on-off switch for the HD antenna is right here. The one thing I don't see up here, am I missing it? There's no power. Yeah, there's no power up here at all. So I guess they're assuming you're not going to put an Apple TV or a Roku in this area because there's no power right here. Of course, there is power with the TV. Okay. Now, 12-volt TV. This is a smart TV for 2024. We've got the really nice arm that comes out. We've got power right there. So you could add, I guess you could add a Roku here or an Apple TV if you wanted to. You do have HDMI, let's see, on this side, underneath right there. I'm probably being, my camera's probably all over the place, I'm sorry. We have 3 HDMIs right here. But this is also a smart TV, so you are able to play things like YouTube and Netflix, things like that directly off of this TV, as opposed to having to have an Apple TV or something like that. But I really kind of expected there to be power up there. Yeah, it kind of surprises me that they don't have power up there. But hey, we got a spot for storage. We got a radio, smart TV there. Now the Bambi does not have an inverter on it, so that would be something you would have to install after the fact if you wanted to install a Bambi. Now above, we're going to have our probably 13.5 BTU AC. This is going to be a drop-in AC like we see on the base camp. There's not a ducted AC system in this, but with this size floor plan, I don't think you need that. The big difference that you're going to notice is the volume of this. Let me turn this on for a second. So that's the volume. That's the fan all the way up, which is really nice to feel some cold air coming out. It's really nice outside, but a little warm inside the camper. This also has a heat strip on it that's right there for your optional heat. And you've got 3 fan speeds for the 8. Well, that one's not really a difference there. And then a little bit of a temperature thing. Now that right there will let it open and just dump air straight down. If you close that, it's going to force air out of these vents here. Now, as we're looking at the roof, I'm going to show the new lights that we have. It's a new circle light, LED lights for the Bambi. I really like the look of these lights. They're large. They've really put out a lot of light, as they should, with them being LED lights right there. And then let's see, let's go ahead and turn the dinette into a bed. So let's shut these real quick. Oh. Now, as far as putting the dinette into a bed, it's fairly simple. I do like to move these cushions. So those are going to take those over here. I really like this blue color, this navy color. It's just beautiful. I'm also a big fan of the cloth that we have in these. I know like ultra leather is what everybody views to be luxury and worthy of the cost, but I am a fan. I'm a fan of this cloth here. You do have the ability to reach down into that storage that's underneath right there. Now these are going to be areas for different components. You're not necessarily going to go in there unless you're doing some service work. They're both screwed down as well. So both sides you can get down. Now the table is going to pop out just like we see on a lot of our other floor plans with this style table. That's going to set right down. What's it? There it goes. Sets right down, and then we can put our cushions back in place. And the reason I pull those out is the cushions come past the dinette base just a tiny bit. By pulling those out, we're not scratching the table against the cushion. So we have new upgraded cushions and mattresses for 2024. The mattresses are now like a 4-layer design. Alright. So is there enough room for an adult to lay here? Yes, there is. There is plenty of room for an adult to lay here. Definitely two kids could lay there for sure. But you could definitely put an adult there. You could put 2 adults. I mean, 2 kids here. You could definitely put an adult there. Possibly even 2 adults. If you wanted to. And then putting these back. Like so. I think this will come right up. Yep. And just like that, we're back to the table. So a great dinette, great setup, great length. I'm going to say this probably around 76 inches in length. And then as we come right around, we're going to see our wardrobe, which does have, oh, hit my camera. It does have the light there. Some storage above. We got great storage below. I mean, again, this is a weekend getaway vehicle. Plenty of storage. And then I do like the pull-out drawers that are right here. The nice little Chester drawer there. And then we do have storage underneath the bed. These bins will pull out. Pull this all the way out so we can see all the way in there. So lots of good storage underneath here. And plenty of bins to be able to store things in. Put that back. Probably should go in like the way I pulled it out. That would make sense, wouldn't it? There we go. We were doing things one-handed and holding the camera. Takes special talent. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the boxes out there and then so I can lay down in the bed, and I'll be right back in a second. Now, one of the things that makes this bed, or this floor plan, unique and maybe a downfall of the floor plan is the bed. So it's not a corner bed. This is a front bed that goes east to west. It's also going to be a narrow bed, great length, but fairly narrow. Now, again, for a weekend getaway vehicle, this bed's plenty. And if worst case, one person can sleep there and one person here. Now, if you are sleeping here and you've got to get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, which we haven't seen yet, we're going to see that next. The person on this side's got to get up for the person on the other side to be able to get up. But as far as room, there's plenty of room here. This thing is so long, I'm not even close to touching the other side of the coach. And on those sides is padded, which I'll show in a second. And I really like that too. Now, 2 people can absolutely sleep here. You're just going to be really cozy. And I mean, what's wrong with being cozy when you're out camping with your significant other? Now that's the padded areas on both sides. There's one on both sides. We do have the new USB chargers right there. There's 2 of them with the USB-C and USB Type A. And I really like these. The dimmer, you got power right there, 110. We've got reading lights above, although they're not reading lights. Like, you have 2 people sleeping there. They're not in the correct place, but they are there. And that middle window does open so you can get some really nice air flowing through. And we have some more storage above, right there and right here. It'd be easier probably to do that with 2 hands instead of 1. Now, if you're wondering, is there enough storage in a Bambi 20FB? The answer to that question is absolutely. There's a ton of storage in here. Now let's check out the bathroom. Now I will say, I call the 20FB, they should call it the 20K for kitchen, but I will say this bathroom is also great for the single axles. You know, the 19CB gives you a little bit better bed than the 20, but the kitchen and the bathroom is so much better. So we got a really nice corner shower in here. We've got a seat right there. We've got some storage right behind, or to the right there where your handle is for setting your temperature. Really nice stainless steel surface mounted sink. We've even got a mirror with a medicine cabinet behind it, which I really like that. We got some great lighting above, LED lights. We got a nice window with the pull down shade that also opens. We also have the porcelain commode here. Now it is sitting up, but it's really not in a bad location. So if I sit down, I'm sitting up a little bit, kind of like, this reminds me of the 22FB Bambi Caravel and the 23-foot Flying Cloud in the International. They set up a little bit because I'm guessing the black tank is just under this, so they're going to have room for that. But it's plenty of room. It's comfortable enough. I can definitely do my business here with no problems. Also like the storage underneath right here, and we've got our toilet paper holder right there, which is important to know. We've got our controls for a tankless hot water heater right there. Turn that off. Right there, turn that off. We've got power right here. And there's lots of areas to be able to add things, shelves, those types of things. And remember, you can easily add a shelf here because that's solid wood right there. Same thing right here. Solid. Okay, let me step into the shower. Now for a corner shower, we've got plenty of room here. I'm going to say, a couple of inches above my head for headroom. Of course, you have the seat, you can sit down as well, but this is a really large and roomy shower. That's a big thing about this floor plan. Huge kitchen, big shower, big bathroom. The worst thing on this floor plan, I would say, is the bed. And that's not that bad. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not that bad. And we've got the shower head that moves around. And of course, the storage there, great size. Now, the screen here, pros and cons to this. There's people who love it. There's people who hate it. I do like how it gets out of the way. There is tension on that, so when you're taking a shower, it's not going to come in on top of you. I like that as well. Let's see here. So we got a little shower, a little towel hanger right there. Fantastic fan just above the kitchen area, which is the right place for that to be. There's also an opening above the bathroom area that will pull, steam out for you. And there's passage underneath to allow airflow as well. That's going to be your furnace control right there, the Dinette furnace. We did that. I'm just kind of trying to make sure I hit everything. I want to make sure when I make these videos, I'm covering as much as I can. This is such a good floor plan. If you're wanting something to be able to get away for a weekend, a week, maybe 2 weeks, this is a fantastic floor plan for that. So let's jump outside and check out the roof, and then we'll finish the video up. All right, folks. Now, I didn't mention when I was talking about the awning, I do have a really good video about how to put the awning out, all the tricks and everything. I'll link that above if you're wondering about that. This is the top of the Bambi 20FB. We have that fantastic fan there in the front area. There's also one there in the back that's over the kitchen. You have your Dinette 13.5 low profile AC there, and then your HD antenna. There's also your solar input right there. So this has 2 solar panels on it. They're 2 100-watt solar panels. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, could you add a third or fourth? I think you could definitely add a third solar panel right here in the front area, right in this area. I think you could add one there. You may be in the back. We'll see in a second. If this one, honestly, if Airstream would have pulled this up to here, I bet you could probably add a second one back there. It's just kind of disappointing that they didn't give you the option for 300 watts here. Maybe they'll do an advanced solar package in the future, but that's not currently available. So 200 watts of solar is one here and one on the other side. I'm going to walk over to the other side now and show you that. Now I'm on the other side. The AC is running right now, if you're curious about its volume outside, but up here I can hear it. Down on the ground I can't really hear it. Now we are beside, Interstate 40. We're right off Interstate 40 in a big section of that, so you're definitely hearing that noise. So I apologize for that. But you've got your air connected port right there. So that's your air connect. Now if you're interested in what that is, I'm going to do a video soon, so make sure you're subscribed about that and I'll talk about it. But then we've got another solar panel here. You can see the solar box right there for the input. There should be 3 there, which would allow you to put, I would say, at least another solar panel back here as well. I think if you move that other one on the other side forward, you could put one back there for sure. So that's going to be one of your vents for your pipe, and then your back vent area is right there. And of course you can see the baked on enamel coating on top. That is a great coating. It really helps with the solar heat that comes from the sun, and then just this beautiful profile of the Airstream Bambi. And that is the top of the Bambi. Okay, folks, if you've made it to this point of the walk around of the 2024 Bambi 20FB, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. I also want to say I really do appreciate everyone who has subscribed, who likes and comments on the videos. I love communicating and kind of dialoguing with you guys. I do want to say, if you're ever in the Greensboro area and want to check out some Airstreams, feel free to come by. We would love to show you the Airstreams we have on the lot, answering any questions that you might have. And in that sense, if you have some questions, my contact info is right there in the description below. Feel free to jump into that, send me a text, an email, or a phone call. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have or help you get your next Airstream. Other than that, you guys live riveted, and we'll talk soon. Thanks. Bye.